What do you make of this, then?
Well, I think it's fair enough that alcohol is taxed according to strength. I don't have a problem with that. But actually, overall, the taxes are going up by 10.6%. So although the Minister will point out that on draft beer the taxes remain more or less unchanged, on a glass of wine it's going up by 20%. So overall, taxes are going up by well above the rate of inflation, 10.6%. They're based on the inflation in September, but it's the worst possible time to be hitting pubs with an extra cost.
But isn't there an argument in all this, as the Minister was trying to make, that actually this will hopefully get people away from buying certainly their beer in the supermarket and send them through your front door instead?
Well, not really. That's one of our problems, is that we think that the supermarkets have a very good deal. They actually don't pay any VAT, for example, on food sales, whereas, of course, we have to pay VAT at 20%. They pay very much less rates per sale than we do. So overall, they're very lightly treated. And actually, no, I mean, overall, the tax is going up by 10.6%. Plenty of people drink wine in pubs, and that will be more expensive for them. And we think that pubs are a very safe place for people to drink. The Minister earlier was talking about questions of public health. That's important. But pubs are a safe environment. People don't binge drink in pubs in the way that they might at home. They might buy drinks very cheaply at supermarkets and drink at home in front of the television. Much better to have them in a safe environment. All the research shows that pubs are good for people's mental health. Coming out is very good for social cohesion. So to add to the burden on pubs at this time is really, I think, rather unfair.
Well, let's talk about the burden on pubs at this time, because there are many, many pressures, aren't there?
Well, yes. So, number one, I would say the huge increase in energy costs. That's, of course, affected everyone. But you see pubs, because they have to cool and heat at the same time, they have a very high energy bills. The bills for my pub went up from 13 pence, roughly a kilowatt hour, to 64 pence. And I'm paying that so it's 4 times as much. There's some subsidy from the government, but it's limited. Then, of course, we've had the fact that during the pandemic, people stopped coming into the offices, so that affects a pub like mine in central London. And then we've had the train strikes. That hasn't helped. So we've had all these pressures on us anyway, and I think, really, a pub should be treated like a public library in the sense that it's an institution that's worth keeping, and for the reasons that I've given. I think it's sad when pubs close down, and a lot have.
So what are you seeing in terms of, I mean, look, your profits are clearly going to be affected by the increasing costs that you've got, but what are you seeing in terms of footfall?
Well, that's gone down since before the pandemic. There's no doubt about that. And it's because we've lost the people who came into the offices in large number and would have their office gatherings at the end of the week. So we actually are seeing, we used to make all our profits on Friday evening. That's not really happening. I mean, it's spread much more across the week. I mean, we've got to work hard. We've got to work hard to keep our customers. But I do think it's sad. I mean, my pub is fine. It's a very popular pub. It's a lovely pub, and so we're doing all right. But I do think it's sad to see the number of pubs that have closed. These are important historical places, and we've lost across the country about 12% of them since March 2020. That's a huge number, 12%. Across the entire country. And in central London, I looked at the figures this morning, it's 15.6%. That would include quite a large area. And, of course, amongst that 15.6% are many lovely old historical pubs, and it's a shame.